Hi, I'm Max. I'm a software engineer for 8 years now, professionally, and alongside that, I've had a long time playing around with Blender 3D, I have had a long time doing music production, and also some concept art. That's all kind of shown on my YouTube channel. You know, I'm all over the place with that stuff. But as with anyone who has interests in these type of fields and is also happening to be a developer, I always wanted to make my own video game. What are you going to hear today? Today I want to give you a big overview and a rough idea of what my game, Project NorthWard, is going to be about. There's a Devlog 0 on my channel, which only shows the mechanics currently present in my very early draft of the game. What's this game going to be about? Project NorthWard is a horror survival action RPG and exploration game. That's such a mouthful, I actually had to read it from a script. It's set in a procedurally generated world with 7 distinct biomes. Your goal is to reach the north. Why and what? It's something the world will tell you on its own terms through environmental storytelling. Not cutscenes or huge dialogue dumps, mainly because I'm just one person. Inspiration: Souls games. From Software has its remarkably light touch with narrative. You can completely ignore the lore and still have a great time. It is felt at any moment. The world is the result of its lore. The story is there for the people who want to dig for it. That's exactly the approach I want to take. You can interact with it, or hopefully get lost and fall in love with it, but also not give a damn really and enjoy the gameplay if you're that type of a person. Inventory and looting. Tarkov's greatest trick isn't the gunplay. It's the weight it puts on every decision before you even load in. What you bring, what you leave behind, how much space are you willing to gamble on coming back with. That's the feeling I want to carry into NorthWard. The world will reward preparation and punish carelessness. Enemies will be able to steal your backpack and drag it away from you. Your guns don't use bullets in the traditional sense, they use bolts. Those are retrievable. They are not only a system of defense and offense, they are actually a resource you need to keep an eye on. You will need to stock up, craft, and plan your routes. Blindly running forward is a choice you can make. It will just probably be your last one. Combat. Most RPG combat is Skyrim-esque. Serviceable, gets out of the way, but it's not something you would call a selling point. It either collapses into point and click or gives you 2 buttons and calls it a day. Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild are brilliant games, not just for their combat. Dragon's Dogma, though, is different. It's probably the biggest sleeper in the RPG world. A franchise that's been held back by budget constraints twice now, and Monster Hunter, and yet its combat system is genuinely world-class. I'm talking active abilities, passive augments, vocations, and the freedom to mix all of it into something that fits how you want to play. I'm drawing from that, but twisting it into a roguelite framework. There's going to be simple basic attacks with each of the currently 3 spec'd weapons. The bolt gun and hatchet combination will be your bread and butter. It's your basic close to mid-range playstyle, allowing for quick melee strikes and parries on good timing. The bolt gun lets you shoot and reuse your bolts as long as you can fetch them. The long gun, also called revolving rifle, will cover mid to distant range combat. It will reward positioning and quick thinking. It packs a punch and allows you to quickly turn a hunted into a hunter situation. But that raw power comes at a cost. This gun destroys bolts upon usage. They either splinter in a quick shot inside the barrel, giving you a shotgun-like spread, or they break upon impact if you charge a shot long enough to deal a devastating sniper shot that can also pierce through enemies. Both of those 2 playstyles will have abilities that you can mix and match to your liking. You will unlock them through world progression, and just as in Dragon's Dogma, they will be real-time abilities that allow you to turn the battle to your favor if you have good enough reaction. The passive perks and abilities will resemble something like Noita's wand system. You will be able to obtain a bunch of different passive and active perks that can either make or break your run. They will be varied and allow for unique playstyles. Once obtained, you keep them on your character progression and swap them out at certain rest points, all to your liking. But you will have to go out and find them first. The world. The world regenerates procedurally each run. Time passes, things change, but key landmarks and locations will always anchor each of the 7 biomes. Those biomes for now: beach, wetlands, swamps, rainforest that is currently not so rainy, tundra, canyon, and abyss. Each one has its own purpose and the lore and the world. Visuals. I'm going for PSX aesthetics meets liminal horror. There is a Pinterest board linked below and also what you see currently on the screen. If you want to get a better feel for the art direction, you can of course check out the link. How am I building this? I'm using Claude Code for building the majority of the mechanical code. I remember the first time that AI tools in general showed up, and I was very skeptical. I was very much dismissive of it, and honestly, for me, it was just a hype. It was just around the corner with all the NFT stuff, and it was just like, oh, this is just another, meaningless thing that will fizzle out over time. Very recently, a colleague of mine showed me a work project that they have used AI for, specifically Copilot. And I was very much surprised because I kind of clinked out of this whole topic for a long time and I just saw it in the beginning of this year. And that project is complex. Like, I'm talking huge. It's a huge shop system basically. And I was really surprised on how well AI actually helped in implementing this. And there's this one specific use case that came to my head, which actually changed my opinion a little bit. At the core, it's a tool. And if it's correctly used and spec'd in a company, it can actually help a lot. I'm coming from a background professionally in coding, where I'd been working in my first few years in smaller teams that have smaller budgets. And it's incredibly hard and difficult, especially if you have higher level technological stacks, to even get into it at all, to even understand what's going on. But what do I use AI for specifically? I use it for boilerplate, for syntax, the parts that are just translation between what I want, what I set the architecture should look like, what I set which type of resource files are supposed to be used, how the naming should be, how the coding convention should be, how clean code is supposed to be. All of that stuff taken and then put into just the mechanical typing it out. That's what I use AI for. All the rest still on me. All the art, all the music, all the modeling, the animation, it's all by me, all done by me. And this is something that I will not outsource to AI. I'm just enjoying that process too much. To sum it up, I'm not asking it what to make, I'm just asking it to help me realize what I want to make. What is already there? Quite a bit, actually. The inventory system in its most rudimentary form with weight and items that are lootable, the base combat layer, melee, ranged, its respective weapons and their respective core mechanics, the bolt system, limp damage and some ragdoll and knockdown, the beginnings of world generation, and a handful of items, and a complete locomotion system for the player character. What is going to come up? Each devlog will focus on a specific mechanic for now, for the future devlogs. That means either technically, how did I do X, Y, and Z, or what does it mean for gameplay and how does it look and how does it feel. Solo projects have a way of kind of humbling you. You have scope creep, you have unforeseen bugs, time constraints, your PC giving out, some dependencies not working, some updates destroying whatever you have made so far, some tools not working anymore. So this is going to be a really long process, but I'm happy that right now a really good foundation is already there. And quite honestly, even though it might be a little bit all over the place and held together by hope and tape, this is enough to keep me going. And I want to know what you guys think about this project. Also, let me know your thoughts about AI coding in the gaming industry specifically. I'm really passionate about that topic. And in the next devlog, we will get into the combat system. Until then, hope you have a good time and stay safe.